Hey everybody, Charlie Weiser here. What I want to do today is I want to go through major 7th chords and minor 7th chords. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to assume that you are familiar with your major scales and how to number those tones. And maybe what I'll do is I'll go through the first couple just to make sure. But if you are not familiar with your major scales and how to number those tones, then make sure you either check out my program that's called What Are the Secret 7 Numbers of Successful Piano Playing. There should be a link below. That's a free crash course. Or you could take my other course called The Secret 7 Numbers of Successful Piano Playing, and there will be a link for that also. Let's do this. Let's go ahead, and I think what I will do is I will move through the cycle of fourths for these chords. And let's just go through and start with the key of C for right now. So real quick, just to make sure, we are together on this, let's just do a C major scale and number the tones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we are back to 1. Okay? So what I want to do first is I want to just play these chords in root position. So in other words, for the C major 7th chord, all we have is root, 3, 5, 7. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Pretty easy. And then to make this chord a minor 7th chord, all we're going to do is we're going to flat the 3 and we're going to flat the 7. Okay, so we have C major 7th, and we have a C minor 7th chord. Okay, and for right now, I'm just going to do these in the right hand, and then, I'll come back, and then I think what we'll do is we'll do some chord voicings on these just to make it easier. So anyway, that's the key of C. Key of F, what I'll do is I will start, middle C is here, let's start down here. So scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So F major 7th, root, 3, 5, 7. F minor 7. We flat the 3, we flat the 7. Next key, B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Major 7, 1, 3, 5, 7. Minor 7, flat the 3rd, flat the 7th. So root, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Key of E flat. Okay, we have the root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. Now let's make it a minor 7. So E flat minor 7, we get root, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Now, like I said, for right now, we're just doing this one hand. This is not, the way that we're going to actually play it, but just to make sure you understand how to create these chords. All right, so next key is going to be A flat, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So we have root, 3, 5, and major 7th. A flat major 7th. Now let's make it a minor 7th. So we have the root, flat the 3rd, 5, flat the 7th. Next up, we got the key of D flat. D flat major 7, root, 3, 5, 7. D flat minor 7th, root, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Next up, key of G flat. Okay, so we have the root, 3, 5, and 7th. Okay, Now, one of the things real quick too, the software that I'm using, depending on where you're playing, it might describe the key as either a sharp or a flat. I'm referring to this as G flat, but on the software I see it says F sharp, but that's actually the same thing, all right? So we got root, 3, 5, 7. That's my major 7th chord. Now, the form the G flat minor 7th or the F sharp minor 7th, we got the root, flat 3, 5, flat 7. All right, next up we got the key of B major. So we have root, 3, 5, 7. So that's my B major 7th chord. Now let's make it a B minor 7. So root, flat 3, 5, flat 7. And that's my B minor 7th chord. All right, next key, the key of E. I think what I'll do for E, this is middle C here. I'll start with the E that's lower than middle C. So our E scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. So remember we have root 3, 5, 7, E major 7. Root, flat the 3rd, 5, flat 7, E minor 7th chord. Next key, A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. A major 7, root 3, 5, 7. A minor 7, root, flat 3, 5, flat 7. Next key is the key of D. And I think what I will do, let's just go with the D above middle C for right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So we have root 3, 5, 7. And then we flat the 3rd and flat the 7th for our minor 7th chord. Next key, the key of G. Middle C's here. I think I'm going to start with this G right below middle C. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So root 3, 5, 7. My G major 7th chord. Flat the 3rd, flat the 7. That's my G minor 7th chord. All right. So then after that, that brings us right back to the key of C. So you remember this is our C major 7. This is our C minor 7th chord. All right. So the big thing you need to remember here is that when you form a minor 7th chord, all you're doing is flatting the 3rd and the 7th. All right. So the major 7th chord, we have root 3, 5, and 7. And when I say root, that's the same thing as number 1. Okay. So we have root 3, 5, 7. And then for the minor 7th chord, we have root, flat 3, or minor 3rd, if you want to be technical about it, 5, and minor 7, or flat 7. Okay. So that takes care of our chords in all 12 keys in the root position. And when I say root position, I mean the root on the bottom. All right. So what I want to do right now is I want to split the chord between hands to kind of open up the sound a little bit. So what I'm going to do for the C major 7th is I'm going to do something like this. Okay. Now what I've actually done, and this is where the numbers are important, okay, because you have to become extremely familiar with your numbers. So all I've done here in the left hand, I'm playing root, 7, right hand I'm playing 3, 5. So this is a chord voicing. I'm splitting it between hands. So my numbers in the left hand are 17, 1, 7, right hand, 3, 5. Okay, so that's my C major 7th chord. Now, if I want to make a minor chord, you remember what we have to do is we have to flat the 3rd and we have to flat the 7th, right? So since I'm playing root and 7th in the left hand, the 7th has to be flat. That's going to be B flat. In the right hand, I got 3, 5, so the 3 has to be flat. So that's going to be right there. That's my C minor 7th chord. So once again, C major 7, C minor 7. Okay, so let's go to the key of F. So here's what I'm going to do. For the F major 7, I'm going to take the F here, that's below middle C, I'm going to go an octave lower than that. We're going to go pretty low down here. We're going to use the same voicing, 1735. So left hand 1, 7, right hand 3, 5. It's my F major 7th. Now to make it a minor 7th, remember I have to flat the 3rd and the 7th, right? So the 7th is here, 3rd is here. So that's my F minor 7th. Okay, so F major 7th, F minor 7th. All right, next up, key of B flat. So what I'm going to do with this F here, I'm going to bring it up to B flat here. All right, you remember our notes in the B flat major 7th chord are those. So we're going to take the root, 7, right hand, 3, 5. And then to make it a B flat minor 7th, root, we flat the 7, we flat the 3. All right, so B flat major 7, B flat minor 7. Next up, the key of E flat. So I think what I'll do with E flat is I'll come up here. Remember our notes, E flat major 7th chord are those. So we got the 1, 7 in the left hand, 3, 5 in the right. E flat major 7th, flat the 3rd and the 7th, E flat minor 7th. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to A flat. Remember our A flat major 7th is this, the left hand, root, 7, 3, 5. A flat major 7. Now to make it a minor, root, flat 7, flat 3, and then we have a 5. A flat major 7, A flat minor 7. Okay, next up, D flat. So I think what I'll do with the D flat is I'll come up here. Remember that's our D flat major 7th there. So we got root, 7, 3, 5. And then the D flat minor 7, flat the 7, flat the 3. Next up, we got G flat. And what I'm doing is I'm actually going down. And I see here, I think the software is actually calling it F sharp, but you know, same thing, F sharp, G flat. So the actual chord is that for the major 7th. So we're going to play the root, 7, right hand 3, 5. I'm going to play the G flat minor 7th. There. So G flat major 7th, G flat minor 7th. Okay, coming up to the key of B. My B major 7th in root position, so we're playing 1, 7, right hand 3, 5. Make it a minor 7th. All right, the B flat or B major 7, B minor 7. What I'll do now is I will come up to E. So remember, our E major 7 is that. So we got root 7, 3, 5. E minor 7th. Again, E major 7th, E minor 7th. All right, so now I'm going to go down to A. Remember, this is my A major 7th chord there. So I got root 7, 3, 5. Make it minor. A major 7th, A minor 7th. I'll come up to D. That's my D major 7. That's my D major 7 voicing. D minor 7. D major 7th, D minor 7th. All right, then we got one more key. That's the key of G. So 1, 7, 3, 5, G major 7th, G minor 7th. One more time, G major 7th, G minor 7th. Okay, so that's going to take care of what we're learning in this lesson, the major 7th chord and the minor 7th. Again, the important thing is the actual numbers or the intervals off of the scale that make up the the chords, right? Because as you discovered here, I could play a major 7th chord like this. I can play it like this. All right, but the important thing to remember is that you have root, 3, 5, and 7. So a question I have for you is, if I played this, will that still be a C major 7th chord? What do you think? Well, if we take a look at our notes, we do have the root, we have the 3, we have the 5, and we have the 7. Okay? It's just arranged in a different order, but it's still those same 4 notes, the root, 3, 5, and 7. And that's why the numbers are so critical. Okay? So if you need to learn more about the numbers, I would probably suggest taking my full course. It's a course that I put together years ago, but I go through all 12 keys, and it's called The Secret 7 Numbers of Successful Piano Playing. And there will be a link below that you can access that course and download it. All right? So anyway, that's going to conclude our lesson for today. Again, we discussed the major 7th chord and the minor 7th chord. What we did was we learned how to form those 2 chords based off of the notes in the scale, okay? And again, the key takeaway point here is that when you make a minor 7th chord, the only way that it's different from the major 7th is you have the flat 3 and the flat 7. All right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I will be back at you real soon with another lesson. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you next time.